Enjoy where you're at, not just where you're going. Most people postpone happiness. If you've ever seen those videos where they ask people that are really old what their biggest regret is, one of the most common answers is they wish that they didn't postpone their happiness, that they would have taken every moment for what it was worth. You know, we tell ourselves that we'll feel okay once we hit a goal, once we get to a certain point in our life, whether that's make a certain amount of money, land the job that we want, or become someone else. That moment rarely arrives. If you had to put a percentage on your life, 99% is the working towards something, and 1% is actually achieving and enjoying having achieved that thing. And so if you don't learn to enjoy the journey and you keep postponing happiness until you've reached certain things, then 99% of your life isn't going to be enjoyable. Your life is happening right now. It's not after the breakup. It's not after the upgrade. The phase that matters is not just the future, but the one right now. Even if it feels temporary or uncomfortable, you just got to learn to accept it. One weird thing that I've realized in my life is that in retrospect, a lot of things haven't, not a lot of things, everything is not as serious as I thought it was in the moment. And a lot of the jobs that I had worked, I really thought that they sucked while I was there. And I was telling myself, oh, it was because I got to pay for college, or oh, I got to save up for a car, or whatever the next step was in my life. And then all that time that I was there, I could have enjoyed it. You know, the enjoyment and being productive, these are not mutually exclusive things. You can enjoy times in your life without feeling like you're dragging on and you're not, achieving things. The future, it's built from today. That's what you have to understand. If you can't appreciate small moments in the present that's going on right now, bigger achievements won't suddenly fix that. And so chasing this imaginary next, it creates permanent dissatisfaction because you're always going to want the next thing. Anyone that's watched my channel has heard me say that in consumerism, the next purchase is always the one that's going to make you happy. And it's not just in consumerism, but it's also in life. When you constantly want the next thing, at what point is it enough? I mean, truly, one thing that me and a good friend of mine always talk about is, how are you worth tens of millions of dollars and you're still getting up at 5 a.m. and grinding every single day, and your job is managing some corporate whatever, just something that's not really that fun. How do you do that? It's because these people base their entire worth, identity, and sort of fulfillment in life off of a potential maybe. Oh, maybe I'll get to this certain point, and then by the time you get to that certain point, it's always the next point that you want. And so you just got to learn to appreciate where you're at. For me, I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard. I mean, you guys see my living situation. It's not the best. Some of you guys may know my story. So in December of last year, not 2025, but 2024, I was homeless in Chicago just for 2 weeks, not for a long time. And then I got really sick, and then I moved in with my parents after the holidays, and then I had this job, I was working full-time while I was in school full-time, and it was difficult. And then once summer hit, my parents sold their house and I had no place to stay anymore, so I was couch surfing with a friend of mine. And then when we started living together, we sort of clashed a little bit, and so that was just a weird situation. And it basically, long story short, I wasn't comfortable or content in any way with how I was living, and the only way that I was getting through the days was by telling myself, oh, I only have this amount of time left before I go here or there. I just kept saying oh, the future is going to be good, so I just got to thug it out for now. And when I look back on my life, and I think you as a viewer will probably relate to this, it's just constantly telling yourself that, oh, the future is going to be better, and that's why you're working hard right now. But the truth is that the time is ticking and you have a finite amount of time. So you have to learn to enjoy the moment. And I'm making this video giving sort of this advice, but the truth is I haven't really fully applied it to myself yet. There have been moments in my life where I have been able to appreciate the moment. That tends to be when I'm out in nature, weirdly enough. There's something about nature that makes me really appreciate the exact time that I'm in. But as a whole, I'm really not all that good at it. But one thing I can tell you is the people that are the most present are the most happy. They're the most fulfilled. So if you can learn that skill, I mean, your life will be so much better for it. Growth doesn't require self-rejection. So, you know, wanting to do better doesn't mean that... It doesn't mean hating where you currently stand. You can improve without treating the present like it's some sort of worthless measurement, you know? Like the present, it's not worthless. It's actually everything, because you're only ever live in the present. This version of you, the version of you right now, the one in real time that is watching and listening to me say these words, deserves respect. And you're not respecting it when you're only focused on the future self, which then once you hit that future self, you're concerned about the next future self. It's like that Matthew McConaughey speech that he gave at the Oscars. He's like, who's your hero? It's like me in 10 years. And then once he got 10 years later, he was like, they were like, oh, are you your hero now? And he said, no, it's me in 10 years. It's kind of that same thing. You deserve respect right now because you're never going to be where you want to be. That is the human condition. The tired you, the confused you, the broke you, the version of you that's healing from trauma, they're all carrying you forward. Okay? I feel like presence is the real success. Being able to sit inside your own life without rushing past it, that's rare and that's powerful. Some of the people that, you know, society would deem as some of the most successful people, you know, like maybe the Justin Biebers, the Christopher Nolans. I mean, if these people can't learn to be present, then the grandma that reads books on her front porch every day is and you know isn't in the best financial situation or doesn't have the best health, is still living a better life because she can enjoy the present. You know, one day you will miss this chapter. That is one of the hardest lessons for me. Even the hard path, even the hard versions of your life in the past, like it's weird. You'll look back and you'll be like, okay, yeah, it wasn't fun, but it built me into who I was meant to be. And when you have this sort of outlook that like everything that's going through your life, good or bad, is building you into the person that you're supposed to become, everything becomes, you know, it makes sense and it becomes bearable. You're going to miss the quiet parts. You're going to miss pretty much everything. Because eventually everything becomes nostalgic, right? Once you start taking life for what it is in real time, you will find a sense of being in fulfillment that elsewise can't be found. Chasing next creates permanent dissatisfaction. There is always going to be another milestone. There is always going to be another version of you. There's always something that's going to need to be fixed. But you'll never arrive if you keep moving the finish line. It's like a ceiling, and then once you hit the ceiling, you're trying to build more stories. It's never going to end. It's like that one dumb TV show that they just don't want to quit. They just want to milk everything out of it, you know? Like it just doesn't end. Like once they get there and you think it should be time to finish, oh, you're gonna move the finish line. Oh, I need to make more money. Oh, I need better friends. Oh, I need a better job, you know? Thank you guys for watching.